Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. For today's video, we get to take an up-close and personal, in-depth look at the recently refreshed 2015 Dodge Challenger RT equipped with the optional shaker package. What's also pretty cool is that behind us we have a 2014 Challenger also equipped with the shaker package, so we can kind of compare and contrast the styling between last year and this year with two like-minded models. Big shout out to AutoNation for providing these vehicles behind us. For more information on their dealerships and current inventory, please feel free to check out their websites provided in the description box below. As always guys, this is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the Challenger RT. We'll start it up to show the engine, get an exhaust clip, go over performance data, take it on a quick drive, and show you many of the unique aspects of both the interior as well as exterior. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in, start it up, let it run. This example is finished in pitch black and is paired with a combination of ruby red and black Nappa leather with a pattern exclusive to the shaker across the doors and seat metal. In order to start, just to make sure you have the key fob within the interior, put your foot on the brake and clutch, and then hit the dash mounted button to go. The Challenger RT gains a new electrically assisted rack and pinion steering system for 2015 with 3-mode variable assist, featuring a 12.3:1 ratio, a 37.4 foot turning diameter, and 2.6 turns to lock. For an EPS setup, feedback and heft felt amazing, especially compared to the previous gen Challenger. Effort progressively firms up the more you turn it, and it seems to really communicate the car's behavior accurately and effectively relative to its size. All Challengers benefit from a new 3-spoke multifunction steering wheel, with the shaker featuring a unique performance-oriented wheel with upper and lower grip bolsters, soft leather, and perforations across the sides. It's decorated by satin dark gray spokes, detailed cross-stitching, and chrome trim across the airbag cover. Standard equipment on the RT shaker is a Tremec TR6060 6-speed manual gearbox, a key difference between the Charger, which is only offered with an automatic. The manual features a 240mm twin-disc clutch and an external oil cooler. This was the first time I was able to get behind the wheel of a manual-equipped Challenger, and I absolutely loved it. The gearbox is smooth and easy to get used to, shifts are relatively short and feel tight as you roll through the gate. It's paired to a clutch that's firm but not punishing in stop-and-go traffic. All in all, it's definitely a delight, adding to the overall shaker experience. For me, it was easier to get a hold of right off the bat than the 2015 Mustang GT we looked at a little while ago. There's a lot of feeling in the clutch, and you can easily hit the grab point without too much practice, similar to experiences I've had with the 5th generation Camaro SS. Another big addition for 2015 is the optional TorqueFlite 8-speed automatic transmission, now for V8 Challengers. Compared to the antiquated 5-speed auto, the new gearbox not only promises improved fuel economy on the RT and 392 models by up to 11%, but creates a smoother and far more dynamic Challenger, as we talked about in my Hellcat review. Along with the new transmission comes a non-gated housing and a retro-inspired T-bar shifter that incorporates a bit of padding on top. Despite it being electronically controlled, it gives the sensation of mechanical linkages, pretty cool in person. An electronic limited slip differential is standard. To shift the transmission manually, you can use the selector below or tug on a set of aluminum steering wheel paddles. When equipped with the automatic, you also gain active fuel management, where the engine shuts off 4 cylinders while cruising for improved fuel economy. When equipped with the manual, though, the RT features a unique performance-tuned dual exhaust system and underfloor mufflers with low-restriction bottle resonators for a more aggressive sound.
So let's go ahead and flip on the bifunction projector automatic HID headlamps, fog lamps, and the hazards. Both windows are automatic down. So let's go ahead and check out the exterior. Upon closing the door, the interior will start to chime to let you know it's lost detection to proximity key fob.
For 2015, the Challenger receives a comprehensive refresh inside and out, its first major overhaul since 2008, bringing with it more heritage touches, improved technology, and even greater performance. While the biggest differences, especially in quality, lie with the interior, the exterior updates now pay homage to the 1971 Challenger. Despite its outwardly retro appearance, it's a thoroughly modern muscle car that leans more on the comfort side of the spectrum when compared to the Mustang and Camaro. As many of you all likely know, Dodge expanded the lineup quite a bit for 2015 with a host of new models, including the SRT Hellcat, which we tested earlier this year, and the triumphant return of the famed Challenger Shaker. Originally launched back in 1970, the Shaker was one of the most unique options available at the time. It incorporated a cold air grabbing engine-mounted hood scoop that provided a ram air effect and shook with the engine, hence the name Shaker. Quite a difference from your typical hood-mounted scoop. The Shaker reappeared briefly for the 2014 Challenger RT and was limited to just 2,000 units. Dealerships were able to begin placing those orders on January 7, 2014, shortly after its official debut at the 2013 SEMA show in Las Vegas. As expected, the demand proved to be quite strong, with all units selling out in just 4 days. What's even more awesome is not only the Shaker's reappearance as a regular production model for 2015, but the package is now available for both the 5.7-liter RT and the 6.4-liter or 392 cubic inch RT Scat Pack for even greater variety, the latter of which now dubbed King of the Shakers thanks to an impressive 485 horsepower borrowed from SRT. The center of the hood is cut out so the snorkel is directly in your line of sight for endless entertainment via revs and acceleration runs. It's finished in satin black and carries the Shaker logo on either side. Underneath the hood, there's another Shaker graphic reminiscent to the 1970 original. Air taken in from the snorkel is diverted to a Mopar cold air intake and conical air filter that sits within an optimized air box for improved airflow and overall performance. The black stripes, a Shaker signature, is some of the best I've seen applied to a modern muscle car. They extend from the snorkel over the roof and across the trunk lid before finishing off at a satin black spoiler. Shakers also include the otherwise optional Super Track Pack, which adds a number of competition-based chassis and suspension updates to create a more dynamic vehicle. For starters, the car rides half an inch lower and sits on high-performance Bilstein shock absorbers. Upgraded brakes, 3-mode electronic stability control calibration with full off, and 3-season Goodyear Eagle F1 tires round out the changes. As I mentioned earlier, the styling refresh takes inspiration from the 1971 Challenger, while 2008 to 2014 models look to the 1970 model. Up front, the fascia is all new with a larger power bulge hood on non-Shaker models and incorporates dual functional air inlets for improved engine cooling. The new vertical split grille is another 1971 hallmark and houses an RT logo to the driver's side and a classic Challenger script on the passenger side, the latter of which found in Shaker cars. A wider trapezoidal front air dam and slimmer grille opening highlight the Challenger's width. To allow for new stripe designs, the windshield washer jets were relocated under the hood. A more aggressive brow rakes over the new quad HID projector headlamps that now feature 4 LED halos for added detail, in addition to new projector fog lamps that have been pushed towards the edges of the fascia. Nothing has changed much across the side profile, but it really didn't need to. The retro silhouette still looks fantastic. The lower sills were retooled for improved aerodynamics. Out back, the 1971 theme continues in the new split tail lamp design, now incorporating smooth LED illumination. A redesigned rear fascia gives the car more planted stance. It's all finished off with a unique rear spoiler and twin polished exhaust outlets. The Challenger Shaker comes standard with a set of 20 by 8 inch polished aluminum satin finish wheels with black pockets. However, this example is fitted with an optional set of 20 by 9 inch matte black lightweight forged aluminum wheels for a reduced unsprung weight. They're wrapped in 245/45 Goodyear Eagle F1 high-performance tires that are able to hold around 0.9 g of lateral acceleration. Brakes for the RT consist of internally ventilated discs up front that measure 13.6 inches in diameter, clamped down by dual-piston sliding aluminum calipers. Bringing up the rear are 12.6-inch vented discs paired with single-piston calipers. With this setup, the shaker is able to stop from 60 miles an hour in about 112 feet. When you step up to the Scat Pack shaker with the 392 Hemi, you also receive a larger brake setup, consisting of 14.2-inch vented and slotted front rotors paired with 13.8-inch vented and slotted rear rotors, clamped down by 4-piston fixed aluminum calipers at each corner, capable of stopping from 60 miles an hour in about 108 feet. The underbody integrates brake cooling ducts for reduced fade under harder use. A fully independent coilover suspension carries double wishbones in front and monotube shocks, supported by a lightweight tubular steel suspension cradle. The cradle features hydro engine mounts amongst other various bushings to lessen noise, vibrations, and harshness that transmit into the cabin. A 5-link design can be found out back, also with an isolated cradle for improved passenger comfort. To enhance cornering, the car is set with 1 degree and 1.75 degrees of front and rear negative camber respectively for greater tire contact with the road during hard cornering. Unique front and rear suspension tuning is added with the Super Track Pack and included with the shaker. One important upgrade for 2015 is a lighter weight and stronger rear axle, benefiting from a cast aluminum design and housing versus the previous steel unit. Overall length is 197.5 inches with a width of 75.7 inches and a height of 57.5 inches, riding on a 116.2-inch wheelbase. Total curb weight, as you see here, is around 4,082 pounds, with 54.3% of that weight over the front axle. The RT shaker is powered by Chrysler Group's venerable 5.7-liter Hemi V8, constructed using a cast iron block with aluminum heads and hemispherical combustion chambers. The Hemi utilizes traditional pushrod operated overhead valves with 2 valves per cylinder, variable cam timing, and sequential multi-port fuel injection. Compression ratio is set at 10.5 to 1, with a maximum engine speed electronically limited to 5,800 RPM. Equipped with the manual gearbox, it develops 375 horsepower at 5,150 RPM and 410 pound-feet of torque at 4,300 RPM, capable of 0 to 60 runs in the high 5-second range. When equipped with the automatic gearbox, output drops slightly to 372 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. Despite this, though, shifts occur much quicker, allowing for marginally quicker acceleration times in the mid 5-second range. Stepping up to the Scat Pack adds the 6.4-liter or 392 cubic inch V8 from the SRT, developing an impressive 485 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 times have been seen around 4.2 seconds when equipped with the automatic. The Challenger carries an 18.5-gallon tank and recommends mid-grade 89 octane for maximum performance. Fuel economy for the manual is rated between 15 miles to a gallon in the city and 23 on the highway for the RT, averaging 18 miles to a gallon. The automatic is slightly better with ratings of 16 city and 25 highway with a 19 miles to a gallon average. The drive modes, all new for 2015, allow you to personalize the vehicle's behavior. Pressing the Super Track Pack button adjacent to the Hazards and Sport button on the center console brings up the various modes, launch control, and more. The menu can also be accessed from the Uconnect apps or from the Performance Pages menu. I go through a full rundown of all of the features during my Hellcat review, but the manual RT differs in a few key areas, namely the amount of things you're able to customize. It's limited to the engine, traction control, and steering. The former two have 2 modes, the latter has 3 modes. Launch control is engaged by pressing the launch button while in drive, hitting the brake, and then applying full throttle. You're even able to set the launch RPM yourself. What I like the most is that the system has detailed instructions to show you basically how to use everything. When equipped with the automatic, you also get customization for the gearbox, such as quickening the shift times, raising the shift points, and actually in sport mode it decreases shift times by about 40% or so it's a pretty dramatic difference. As we've talked about previously, the Performance Pages is one of my favorite interior features of the new RT and SRT products. You can customize that little car picture right there, which is pretty cool, but the real meat of the system are the various timers that you can utilize on the track, from braking distances to acceleration and more. You also have all these extra auxiliary gauges so you can keep an eye on all the vehicle parameters. There's a detailed G-force meter that also measures steering angle, not to mention an engine portion for instantaneous horsepower, torque, oil pressure, and a digital speed readout. Since 2008, the biggest downside for the Challenger was its interior, which suffered from lackluster styling, subpar materials, and outdated technology. One of the most significant and welcomed updates for the 2015 model year is an entirely redesigned interior that takes a lot of heritage inspiration from the 1971 Challenger. It looks and feels high quality thanks to the vast implementation of premium soft touch materials and all essential touch points, similar to what's seen in the newest generation Charger. Like last year's Shaker, the 2015 model features a number of unique appointments including door treatments, stitching, Shaker startup screen, and more. Two upgrades that stand out the most include revised seating and a sculpted dash that incorporates genuine engine-turned aluminum trim, as well as the latest in technology and convenience features for an easy-to-use, comfy, and ergonomic layout. The new high-sill center console also features the aluminum trim that gives a fresh yet retro appearance with French seam double accent stitching. All of your power accessories, including windows, locks, and mirrors, are located on the new sculpted door panels, in addition to storage compartments. With the Shaker, cloth upholstery comes standard unless you opt for the RT Plus, which adds premium Napa leather and higher-end door treatments. Unlike the similarly styled seats in the Charger, the Challenger has manual recline and no memory programming. The driver's seat features power sliding and height adjustment with 4-way adjustable lumbar. The seats are a bit less firm than what you would find in an SRT, so they could be a little bit more comfortable on longer trips. I thought they were very comfortable. They have good bolstering across the top and down below, and I love the detailing, especially the Shaker logo stitched in the backrest and the red accent stitching. The headrests are also adjustable. The leather can be had in either two-tone black or ruby red like you see here, and black with sepia accents like what was seen with that 2014 model I showed you earlier. Continuing through the interior, you have all-weather logoed floor mats down below, aluminum sport pedals, and a power tilt telescoping heated steering wheel. There's a driver's side knee airbag, the whole upper portion of the dash is wrapped in soft touch material, and it's contrasted with a black headliner, LED illumination, and an optional sunroof.
So let's go ahead and see how she sounds. So let's go ahead and shut her up. Nice solid feeling panels.
This example features the optional 9-speaker 509-watt Alpine surround sound system. It's all routed through Chrysler Group's excellent Uconnect infotainment system. The 8.4-inch LCD touchscreen allows you to access everything from radio and multimedia to navigation, climate, hands-free Bluetooth telephone, and more. It's one of the easier systems to use on the market when it comes to the organization and functionality of it. I've covered it in far greater depth in previous videos, in addition to all of the interior features during my Hellcat review, so check out the link at the top right hand corner of the video and in the description box below if you're wanting to learn more about what's included and how to work all the features.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and shut her down. And we'll check out the back seat. Like we talked about earlier, the Challenger is by no means a small car whatsoever. I mean, being based on a shortened version of the Charger's platform should be a perfect indication, but compared to other vehicles in this class, like the Camaro and the Mustang, one big plus for the Challenger is how big the back seat is. It's definitely a lot more usable and more practical if you plan on hauling other people and using it more on a daily basis. Getting into the back isn't too hard either. You pull in the little tab behind the seat, and the passenger seat, being fully manual, just slides on forward. Like with any coupe, you gotta dip down just a little bit, But the first thing that you'll notice when you climb in back here is how much headroom there is. I mean, I'm 5'10" and my hair is just barely grazing the headliner, but I probably have about a ½ an inch of wiggle room back here. Where the sunroof stops, where it dips down right here, there's actually cutouts towards the back to give you a lot more breathing space back here. When you pull the seat back, the biggest limitation is going to be leg room, depending on the height of the person in front of you. With a comfortable seating position for myself, and I have this raked back just a little bit, I still probably have about an inch or so of leg space, but if you have someone shorter in front, obviously you'll have a lot more. There's 2 air registers back here, so everybody stays nice and comfortable temperature-wise. There's armrest, a little bit of padding across the door panels, which is nice. Reading lamps up top, coat hooks, side curtain airbags. It's a pretty nice environment. You also have storage pockets on the back of the seats. I'm not really sure why you would want to, but you can sit 3 people back here. There is an extra seat belt, but it would be rather tight, especially right here with leg room and the big drivetrain hump. There's no third headrest in the middle, so short people, temporary use. In the middle, though, you do have a full padded leather armrest with 2 cup holders. A pretty nice feature also for the class. I know the Mustang doesn't have one. I'm pretty sure the Camaro doesn't either. So the Challenger is definitely built to be more of a comfortable car rather than an all-out sports car. And I do like that about it. The back seat, in terms of comfort, is excellent. There's a lot of padding down below, good lateral support across the sides. I love the 2-tone color scheme with the attention to detail, contrasting red stitching, the perforations across the middle, and the rib portions. There's good lower back support. I mean, the headrest is nice and soft. You can just put this down and kick back and relax. It is really that comfortable back here. You do also have child seat anchors, so you can carry small children back here if you desire. Not too much compromise, I guess. But that's really about it. You can fold the back seat down, and I will show that when we get to the trunk portion. So, let's go and check out the rest of the vehicle.
Another one of the Challenger's biggest benefits is cargo space out back. When compared to the Mustang and Camaro, being that the Challenger is obviously a bigger car, you also get more trunk space, and it's a wider opening, so more accommodating for larger items. Compared to the Mustang, which I think is around 13.5 cubic feet, the Challenger is 16.2 cubic feet, so it's, like I said, it's a little bit more practical. There is illumination. You can fold down the 60-40 split rear seat and stow cargo all the way to the front if you need to.
Unlike the partial power adjustment that you find on the driver's seat, the passenger seat is fully manual. Another quick look at the red accent stitching flowing up the passenger side of the console. Down below, you have a locking glove box. It's pretty much identical to the Charger's 2-tier design, lined-in felt, and it has illumination. Off to the bottom here, you have a small storage net and a 12-volt power outlet.
The Dodge Challenger is one of the best performance bargains you can buy when it comes to its near luxury grade features and amenities, technology, and comfort. With an expanded model lineup, the selection becomes even more diverse, creating a Challenger for anyone to suit any need, whether it's basic transportation or a track day special, that can be enjoyed on a daily basis without compromise.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the 2015 Dodge Challenger RT Shaker. Be sure to stay tuned next time. There's a lot more where that came from. Take care, everybody.